Hi, classmates. Our featured star for the day is an answer to a post that I did several weeks ago about this person who had never been to a class reunion. But it also could be because you've never heard of him, too. Without further ado, here's Gary Mavko. What you did after high school.
After high school, well, a summer of depression because I was no longer at Madison High. Not really. And then I went that fall of '68 to my undergraduate work at Cornell University in upstate New York. It's about 5 hours from Madison. And then after that, I started graduate school at Stanford in 1972. But then I had to interrupt that and go on some active duty Air Force for a couple of years. It was supposed to be 4 years, but while I was in, the war in Vietnam ended, so they were looking for volunteers to get out. And I was always told, don't volunteer for anything in the military, but that one worked, so I volunteered. And then I came back to Stanford, finished my studies, and let's see, then for a while I worked at the U.S. Geological Survey in the earthquake studies branch, earthquake prediction branch. It's kind of a misnomer because we cannot predict earthquakes, but that was kind of fun. And then I worked for a small company that was doing some work for oil exploration. And then in 1989, I came back to Stanford as a professor, and that's where I've been. So, a lot of little chapters in different places, different faces.
You have a little woman in your life or family? Tell us about.
Okay, I have a wife, Barbara, and no children. And I have not much family left, extended family. My brother George lives in Tucson, Arizona. Some of my classmates might remember him, although he was 3 years ahead of us in school, like your sister Linda, I think, right? Same class. And then, as I know, I lost my Madison family. And so it's, just kind of Barbara and me and dogs now and then and things like that, neighbors.
You miss Madison?
Oh, at times, when I'm in a traffic jam here, I miss Madison. Do you ever drive by the old house on Chapel Road?
Oh, all the time.
You notice those trees that we planted? They must be 50, 60 feet high now. When I was in grade school, I think my dad and I planted those little Christmas tree seedlings on my hands and knees, and we did, I think, 5,000. And I have a picture that's already like 15 years old, and I'm just dwarfed by this huge tree. So,
do you remember us making our first communion together?
Fuzzy little inkling there somewhere.
Yeah.
I think I can help you remember here real quick. I'm going to share my screen.
Are you going to embarrass me? Holy smoke.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we look good.
I got to tell you,
Father
Gary,
Mulholland with his cigarette.
Yeah, I cannot get over that cigarette. That is.
Well, I say
you were a great looking kid, Gary. There isn't any doubt about it.
What went wrong, but I started out good.
Look at that little cutie pie on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The bowling ball.
Here's a book that I wrote a few years ago.
I saw that book online.
You've written several books.
Yeah. This one title, this was the third edition, and each one was substantially different. So it felt like this last edition, we added 300 pages. So it was like writing a book from scratch.
Over.
Anyway, that was kind of fun. In fact, the timing was just right. It came out just like 2 months after I retired. And I was told myself that this is the last chance to write down what I remember. One of the things that I really enjoyed, I did some research and so on, but I really enjoyed teaching students. And I, for a period of time, I guess in the 1990s and then the first decade of 2000, I was getting invited quite a few places around the world to do some training, because my little niche of expertise was useful for oil exploration. And so I went to Japan and a lot of places in Europe, Norway, Australia, China.
Cool.
So it was quite an adventure. France, went to France quite a few times.
So what are some things that you enjoyed best in high school?
High school, I think you guys, right? Well, there's a couple of things. I remember Mr. Struthers, I think, who was the German teacher and my cross-country coach.
He's still around.
Gosh, I know some faces. There was a fairly old guy who was a math teacher that helped me out a lot.
Mr. Black?
Might have been. Yeah, it might have been. Oh, and then, the band. Probably most of my memories are either in that band room or out at in a parade or something like that. I also remember that I was terrible at soloing. I would always get nervous and I couldn't play well if I had a little bit part to do myself. So
were you first chair?
I was, but I shouldn't have been because of that. Yeah.
Trumpet? You played trumpet or cornet?
Cornet. Some of the people that I would see very often were Frank Zupchan, who was just, a few hundred yards down the street, and Kirby Ortiz. I think, did he live for a while halfway between your house and mine, Pat, on Dock Road?
Yeah, well, almost diagonally from us.
Yeah.
He didn't live there very long, though.
Yeah. So I remember this one time, well, we were in Boy Scouts, and so we do a lot of camping and so on. And this one time, Kirby and I were going to just camp, in the woods behind the house. And so, we prepared and got the tent ready and our sleeping bags, and we packed some food, and we hiked, it's just a short hike back, and then set up the tent and, just did camping things. But we were back home the same night because the mosquitoes were so bad that we just couldn't bear it. I think we might have just gone back the next day to get the tent. So if Kirby, see if you remember if I told that story right.
Hey, let me share my screen for a second.
Uh-oh.
No, this one won't get you. Don't worry. There's Kirby right out in front.
Uh-huh.
And that's the crazy one on your right is Rich Severco. The one behind Kirby. The one behind Kirby is Jay. Raleigh Hart's over on the left.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the beautiful Laura behind Kirby.
Yeah, Laura is one of the people who was the most recognizable to me. She never grew up.
Yeah.
She
looks
fantastic.
exactly the same.
There's Gail Smith behind Raleigh. Gail Smith behind Raleigh, and Barb Morgan beside her.
Point out Mark right in the center, up in the middle.
Oh, I see him right there.
Yeah.
Right above Laura.
And to the right, his left is Danny.
Danny. Yeah.
And then Max, and then Dale Crane on the end.
Yep, Max and Dale. This is Skip McHugh.
Point out Frank, his friend Frank.
Oh, yeah, right there's Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Ken Wetzel.
Mike Rako.
Do you see the hand sticking up in the background here?
Yeah, I recognize that.
That's my hand.
All right.
I wanted to be in the picture really bad, so I stuck my hand up.
I would have known you anywhere. Yeah.
Anything you want to say to your classmates? There's going to be a lot of them watching this.
Uh-oh. Well, I love you all. And I'm really glad that Pat and Dale and all of you are participating in this so I can kind of refresh my memory about who's who and what's going on. So yeah, it's nice.
So go ahead and do it again.
All right. Hi, classmates. Our featured star for the day is an answer to a post that I made several weeks ago about crap.
No, okay. That's a take.